What's up, everyone? Welcome to Season 0, Episode 6 of Get Up and Game, where we like to start every day right with a game on the table. It's Season 0 because I'm still a complete noob at this, and it's Episode 6 because this is the 6th video. Today I'm going to be playing Marvel Champions. I'm going to be taking Scarlet Witch up against Ebony Maw. In Expert mode, I've got the Scarlet Witch in Protection, which I don't think I've ever played her in Protection before. She is one of my favorite heroes, but I usually play her in Leadership or Justice. So I wanted to try something a little bit different here. Now, when I build decks for this game, I typically find one element of a hero's kit and really lean into it. In this case, Scarlet Witch has 3 copies of Magic Shield, which is an upgrade that you can put into play and then use it later to prevent 3 damage. And so I also have 3 copies of Defensive Stance that does basically the same thing. It's just a little more expensive. And I also have Energy Barriers. And the idea here is just to try to prevent as much damage as possible, because Ebony Maw, if you've ever played him, he is a mystic similar to Scarlet Witch. He also likes to cast spells, and he likes to flood the board with damaging spells like Fireball and Rubble Storm that can really wreck your day. So I'm hoping to be set up pretty well against him. I also, I did randomize the modular encounter sets like I usually do. And in this particular case, unfortunately, we got the Legions of Hydra, which I find to be one of the harder modular encounter sets. And we also got the Space Pirates. So I think this is going to be a pretty challenging setup for Scarlet Witch. But you might disagree, because some of you who play this game a lot and know these cards very well and have your fancy tokens and mats and Board Game Geek accounts might think, oh, look what Josh did. He cherry-picked a perfect scenario to make his deck look good, and then he filled his deck with really good cards that will specifically stand against Ebony Maw. Well, let me ask you something there, Mr. Fancy Pants. First of all, why are you defending the villain? Who are you? Critical Encounters? Watch their stuff. But second of all, what you might not know is that Scarlet Witch and Ebony Maw are actually childhood friends. Yeah, they went to little magic people school together. They grew up on the playground, throwing spells and just, looking at weird magical creatures. It's kind of like Hogwarts, but, Marvel. And they were the best of friends until one day Ebony Maw got whisked off into space to hang out with Thanos, and he became much more squid-like. He was a far more handsome little boy. And then at somewhere in the space traveling process, just his squid tendencies really came out. It's unfortunate. But now Ebony Maw's back, and really what this is not a battle between hero and villain. This is a simple duel between friends. They're catching up, and they just want to see who can deal the most damage to each other with their spells. So I'm not cheating by including a lot of damage prevention. This is simply the competition. It's like they're playing a game of tennis. This is my equipment, he has his, and we're just going to see who can deal the most damage to each other with our spells. Whoever deals the most damage wins. It's as simple as that. So let me get this all set up, and we'll get started. All right, I've got everything shuffled up, and we're ready to get started. So with Ebony Maw, we're going to flip over his first scheme card here, and he tells us that we have to discard cards until we reveal a spell, and we're going to put that spell into play in our play area. So we're just going to start flipping. Oh, found the first one, Pacification. So the way the spells work, they come into play with invocation counters on them. And every time Ebony Maw activates, if he schemes or attacks, it's going to tick down these counters, and then when there's no more counters on them, they happen, and they can do all kinds of nasty things, and I'm sure we'll be seeing many of them. So that was the when revealed on here, and then since we're playing an expert, we're starting on the side 2 of Ebony Maw, and that also has us do the same thing. Now the scheme card actually has us shuffle these cards back in, and then when we get the spell from Ebony, we will not shuffle back in. So hopefully we flip over some of the nastier cards here before we find a spell. But all these cards are nasty, aren't they? Okay, so we got another copy of Pacification, so we're going to be really pacificated. That one exhausts our upgrades and stuns us. That's probably, it's probably one of the least damaging for what we're trying to do here. Now I have to shuffle in Wanda's Obligations. She gets 2 of them for some reason. Guess because she's just double good. or she's double crazy, because that's what her obligation is. All right, so that's shuffled up. I do want to say, while I'm shuffling my hero deck again, that while I was preparing to make this video, another content creator, the Yankee Down Under, just posted a video with Scarlet Witch in protection. Now, I didn't watch it because I didn't want to steal any of his ideas, but I'm definitely going to watch it after this because I really like his stuff. So if you haven't seen the Yankee Down Under, I'll link him below in the description. I highly recommend his channel. He makes just really nice Marvel Champions playthroughs. All right, let's get started. We're going to draw our opening hand of 6 cards. Quicksilver, Hex Bolt, Endurance, the Sorcerer Supreme, Deft Focus, and a double resource. This is a lot of the cards. I'm really happy to see Sorcerer Supreme. Deft Focus I use in here because Wanda, she doesn't have a lot of superpowers, but I'm hoping to play a lot of Hex Bolts, and it is a superpower. So even just having a Deft Focus just for those cards, I think is worth it. And so I think we're gonna ditch Quicksilver because that's not gonna happen. We're gonna ditch Endurance. Really, I'm just hoping to draw, what am I hoping to draw? Can't think, it's too early. This is what happens when you get up in game. Your brain doesn't work yet. I don't know, we're just gonna see what I draw. I can't think of what I was trying to say. Okay, that'll work. So, Scarlet Witch, her alter ego ability is Superpowered Siblings. I can discard 2 cards from my hand to draw 2 cards. So if I have 2 things in my hand I don't want to play, I can ditch them. And I don't know that I do, because I definitely want to get the Sorcerer Supreme. I definitely want to get Deft Focus, but unfortunately that leaves me with these 2, and I can't play either one. Or should I play? You know what? I am going to discard these 2 to draw 2. I got Chaos Magic. That was the one I was trying to think of. I should have thought of that. Okay. Chaos Magic is a card that lets you play another card for free, essentially. So I was hoping to draw something expensive like an Avengers Mansion. Or I had Quicksilver, I guess. Maybe I shouldn't have discarded him, but either way, it's fine. So that is our alter ego. We're going to flip into hero form. Now, Scarlet Witch's whole deal is she likes to manipulate the encounter cards. You know, encounter cards have boost icons in the bottom right corner, and a lot of her cards key off of those boost icons, and she can manipulate those up and down. Her special ability is Chaos Control. When boost icons on an encounter card would be counted, discard the top card of the encounter deck and count the number of boost icons on that card instead. And I can do that once on the hero phase and once on the villain phase. And then she also has an upgrade that allows her to manipulate them up or down 1 as well. So she's just a really fun way to play, because you never quite know what you're going to get, but as a result of the randomness, her cards are pretty powerful to make up for it. So speaking of powerful, we are going to start off with a Hex Bolt. So we're going to use a double resource to pay for this. And I just realized I haven't put any threat on the main scheme yet. It has 1, and it has a threshold of 6. So it's not too hard to lose this first scheme. So what Hex Bolt does, discard the top 3 cards of the encounter deck, and for each card discarded this way, something different is going to happen. So let's see what we get here. Wow, so we're going to see a little bit of everything. So we have a 1 boost, a 2 boost, and a 3 boost. So when there's 1 boost, you remove 2 threat from a scheme. When there's 2, you draw a card. And when there's 3, you get to put a status effect out, a Confuse, a Stun, or a Tough. And I'm okay with all those options. If I wanted to, I could use Wanda's ability to discard one of these and draw a different one to see maybe if I get some different boost icons, but I'm okay with this. So with the 3, we're going to go ahead and stun Ebony Maw. With the 2, we're going to draw a card. Got a shield spell. And with the 1, we'll just remove this threat. Well, do I want to discard the 1? Removing that 1 threat isn't that exciting. You know what? Plus, I probably shouldn't put that in my discard pile. We will use Chaos Control. We'll get rid of this one and see what we can get instead. We got another 3. I think that is better. So we'll leave that threat there. We'll go ahead and confuse Ebony Maw. How you like that? So for 2 resources, I got a stun, a confuse, and I drew a card. I think that's pretty darn good. Hex Bolt is probably my favorite card in this entire game. So now we are going to use the shield spell to get Def Focus out to help us pay for future Hex Bolts. We're going to use Chaos Magic to get the Sorcerer Supreme so that I have a larger hand size in hero form. And when you play Chaos Magic, I should say, you play a card from your hand for free, so it normally costs 2, and then you have to discard cards from the top of the encounter deck equal to that card's cost. So it's moving you through the villain deck a little bit faster, but I'm kind of not that worried about that. Oh, Shadow of the Past is gone. That's actually a little unfortunate. I kind of like getting Wanda's Shadow of the Past because the side scheme actually helps her a little bit. I still have Victor in my hand. I like him because he's good at blocking minions, but we're just going to discard him at the end of the round. And all I really left to do, if you've watched me play, you know I really like a clean board far more than I like damaging the villain. So we're just going to go ahead and remove this one threat because I don't want to lose the scheme. And that is the end of my turn. We're going to draw back up to 6 cards thanks to the Sorcerer Supreme. Molecular Decay, Warp Reality, Spiritual Meditation, Avenger's Mansion, and the Power of Protection. All right, so Warp Reality lets me cancel the encounter card, so if I don't like something that pops out here, I can just get rid of it completely. It is a superpower, but I can't use Def Focus to play it because Def Focus is an action and you can't take actions on the villain phase, unfortunately. So we're going to go to the villain phase here. We get 1 threat on the main scheme. He wants to attack me, but he is stunned, so we're just going to remove the stunned instead. Now, it's important to note the way, just since this is the first, I'll still explain how it works. So his spells tick down when he activates. So typically you would remove 1 counter from each spell in your play area right before the villain schemes or attacks. But since he was stunned, he doesn't activate, so his spells don't tick down. So it's a great strategy against Ebony Maw. If you can keep him stunned and confused, his spells don't tick down. Now we've done that, we're going to see what our encounter card is. And again, if I don't like it, I can cancel it. It is Advanced when revealed the villain schemes. Well, he is confused, so it won't happen either way, but I'm still tempted to cancel this because I was hoping to go to Alter Ego form this turn. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cancel this. We're going to use the Power of Protection. No, we'll use a Molecular Decay to pay for Warp Reality. That just completely cancels the card, and then it reveals or flips cards from the encounter deck based on the boost icons, but there's 0. So there aren't any. And we have survived the first round. So back to us. One of the most fun things about playing a mystic character like Scarlet Witch is you get to play Spiritual Meditation. Draw 2 cards, choose and discard a card from your hand. So we're going to draw Strength and Agatha Harkness. And we'll go ahead and, oh, and I have to discard one of these cards from my hand. I've been sort of stubbornly holding on to this, thinking I would get a green card to pay for it with, but so far it's not looking like it. So I'm gonna go ahead and discard it. I will play another Spiritual Meditation. There, I knew that was going to happen. Drew a green card, Brother Voodoo, and another Hex Bolt. All right. Well, what do I want to do here? I'm definitely going to go to Alter Ego form. I kind of want to play another Hex Bolt because that's sort of the whole point of this deck is to, between Stun and Confuse and all the defense upgrades, is just to stand behind a wall of protection and fling Hex Bolts at Ebony Maw. Because so far, Scarlet Witch is winning their little competition of who can cast the most spells. I am going to use Def Focus and Brother Voodoo to play another Hex Bolt. So we're going to discard 3 cards. We got a 3, a 2, and a 2. So that would currently be drawing 2 cards and giving another status effect. Let's see if we can get something else with this one. We'll use Chaos Control. We got another 2. So we're going to draw 2 cards and do a status effect. So we'll go ahead and stun him again and draw 2 cards. So we got a defensive stance and another Hex Bolt. Well, it's the whole point of the deck. Let's just keep rolling. Another Hex Bolt, a 0, a 1, and a 2. All right, so now it's going to be deal 2 damage, remove 2 threat, and draw a card. I can't manipulate it again since I've already done it once, so we're going to remove the threat. We're going to deal 2 damage, which I don't have Ebony Maw's. He starts out with 18 health, so now he has 16. And then, oh, put the cards down. I didn't know where I put them. Okay, and then I'm going to draw a card. Another double resource. Well, now we are going to have Scarlet Witch attack for 1. So he's down to 15. I really want to get Agatha Harkness in play. Okay, we're going to go to Alter Ego form. We're going to use Defensive Stance to bring in Agatha. I'm sure you have a cute little song in your head right now, but I promise I won't sing it for you. Agatha's ability is when you can exhaust her in Alter Ego to look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 to your hand, and put the other 2 on the bottom. So, team building exercise, Hex Bolt and Scarlet Witch's Crest. I am going to take the crest, put it in my hand, put the other 2 back on the bottom of my deck. I'm going to use the Genius to bring the crest into play. What the crest does is this is the card that lets me, when I'm looking at the boost icons, it lets me either add 1 or remove 1 from one of them. So it gives me a lot more control over the Hex Bolts. So that'll be nice to have in the future. And since I think I've seen all of my double resources and my Chaos Magic, I'm going to go ahead and discard the Avengers Mansion. I would have liked to have gotten it into play, but I think all the best ways to pay for it have already gone by. We're going to go ahead and ready up. And since I'm in Alter Ego, I draw 6 cards. Got a Magic Shield, Power Protection, Magic Shield, Molecular Decay, and okay, so I found all my defensive options and a Quinn Carrier. All right, back to the villain. They get 1 threat. He is confused, so again, none of his spells tick down. And there's nothing I can do about this encounter card, so let's just see what it is. A Pirate Lackey. So here's one of the space pirates. They all have Quick Strike, and typically they all, when they damage you, they remove your cards from the game. These guys can be really nasty. This one, when it attacks and damages you, it removes the top card of your deck from the game. Thankfully, I'm in Alter Ego form, so it doesn't attack me from the Quick Strike, and that's it. We're ready to go back to my turn again. Maybe eventually Ebony Maw will actually do something, but for now, Scarlet Witch is really winning this friendly game of childhood rivalry that they've played this many times. They used to run around back at Little Magic School, just flinging spells at each other, turning trees into giraffes. It was a real hoot. She missed him. She was glad he came back. I mean, she would have preferred if he hadn't brought Thanos and, giant armies and tried to destroy the universe. That part was a little awkward, but now that they're past that, it's nice to be friends again. So I have Agatha to use here in Alter Ego again. We're going to find Clea, Nick, and Magic Shield. Well, we definitely don't want the Magic Shield. We already have like 4 of those in our hand. I don't think I can really afford Nick without... No. We're going to take Clea. We're going to save Nick for later. Oh my gosh, I have so many cards I want to play now. I have 2. I can discard 2 and draw 2. Let's see. Let's kind of work out the turn here. I'm definitely going to play Clea with that. I'd like to play the Quinn Carrier. But then, and then I can use Quinn Carrier, play Magic Shield. Let's do that. Let's do that. All right. So that means I don't think I'm discarding any cards because I've got it all worked out. All right, we're going to flip to hero form. We're going to use our double for greens to get Clea out there. I really like Clea a lot. She's a mystic, so she also went to Little Magic School, though she was a little younger, so she heard the stories about Wanda and Ebony Maw, but she wasn't there to see the chaos they created. But she's neat because when she's defeated, she goes back into your deck, and Wanda draws a lot of extra cards, so it's easy to get her back out. So she's nice as a chump blocker, and that's why I actually have team building exercise in this deck, pretty much just to help pay for her, and it seems to work pretty well. So we've got her into play. I really wanted to get my Quinn Carrier out just for a resource for later, and we're going to use that to play a Magic Shield. And the only other thing, let's have Scarlet Witch attack for 1, and we'll have Clea thwart for 1. So Maul is down to 14. I promise we will actually start dealing real damage to him soon, but I really like to have 14 or 15 cards on the table before I finally attack the villain. Also, I just remembered there's a pirate lackey, so maybe instead of damaging Ebony Maul, I take that back. We're going to start damaging the pirate lackey. Didn't see that there. All right, let's ready up. I'm going to end the round there. Clea should take a damage for whatever it was I had her do. I already forget. I think she thwarted. And we're going to draw them a card. So I'm Sorcerer Supreme, so I get to draw 6. Let's see what we got. Team Building Exercise, another Hex Bolt, Energy Barrier, Defensive Stance, and a Spiritual Meditation. So looking good. And I do have to remember I have a Magic Shield in play. If something were to damage me greatly, I can block it. Attack on Nowhere gets 1 threat. Ebony Maw is stunned, so again, none of his spells tick down. Still waiting to see if he can even get into this game. And the Pirate Lackey wants to attack me for 2. Now, if it damages me, I have to remove the top card of my deck from the game, and I would really rather not do that. So I could either defend it with Scarlet Witch herself, or block it with a Magic Shield, or block it with Clea. I think I might, let me see. I've got a bunch of other defensive options in my hand. I don't really want to block it with Scarlet Witch because I like to have her thwart just in case we get some threat on the scheme. I'm just going to use a Magic Shield to block it. So that takes care of that. And now my card is a Gang Up. Well, great. The villain and each minion engaged with you attacks you. All right, Ebony Maw is finally ready to play. He's cracked his knuckles. He's stretched his arms. He's ready to get into this game and try to catch up. So he's going to attack me, which means these tick down. Come here. And he is attacking me for 2 plus a boost. And now I'm going to block with Clea. And it is 3 boost icons, but it doesn't matter because Clea was there to take the hit. Now she's going to get shuffled into my very, very small deck. There's only 3 cards in there right now. Pirate Lackey wants to hit me for 2. And again, I'll lose one of the cards in my deck. I don't want to, so I'll block her. And that is that. Okay, that could have been worse. Back to us. All right, Ebony Maw, you finally ready to play? Let's play. Let's see what we can do. Spiritual Meditation, draw 2, discard 1. We drew Nick and another Magic Shield. We don't have any. We have 1 Quinn Carrier in play, and we have Death Focus in play. Just have to remind myself, it's so easy to forget your options. So I definitely want to play the Hex Bolt. So let's start with that in case it helps us draw extra cards. So we're going to use, with the Quinn Carrier here, these 2 together will pay for a Hex Bolt. So we're going to look at 3 cards. We got 3 boost icons, 1 boost icon, and 2. So as it stands now, we will remove 2 threat, draw a card, and do a status. Well, I'm happy to do the status for sure. We're going to go ahead and confuse Ebony Maw so we can go to Alter Ego next turn. We are going to, I'd really like to do 2 damage is what I was hoping for. So I'm going to discard the threat one in the hopes of drawing a 0. We got another 1. So we're removing 2 threat and we're drawing a card. So that was the last card on my deck. Get Clea back. That is also going to get us an encounter card for emptying our deck. All right, I'm just realizing I forgot. I did have the crest in play, so if I had wanted to change the boost icons on one of those cards, I could have. But it slipped my mind, and that is okay. I already drew a card, so I can't really go back and fix it. It's no big deal, though. So now what we're going to do... Oh, I had a plan. What was my plan? I lost it. Here it is. I want to play Team Building Exercise, so we're going to discard these 2 energy barriers to get this out. Then we're going to use Team Building and another defensive stance to bring out Clea. She's a Mystic, so Team Building works because Scarlet Witch is also a Mystic. And then we're going to use Nick to play a Magic Shield. So we're getting all our cool stuff. Other than the mansion, I think I have everything out that I like to set up with. And so let us go ahead and have Clea. Well, I really want to get rid of this stupid Pirate Lackey. Well, we're going to have Clea ping it for 1. So it's up to 2 damage. And then, since Ebony Maw is confused, we're going to flip down to Alter Ego. I have to remember I have an extra card. That is a little bit scary. So maybe I want to stay up in hero form in case I draw a Warp Reality. You know what? I have Clea as a blocker. I'm going to stay up, I think. I can go to Alter Ego next turn. So we'll do that. That is everything. We're going to draw Chaos Magic, Victor, Strength, a Hex Bolt, defensive stance, and okay, I didn't draw Warp Reality, but that's okay. Attack on Nowhere gets 1 threat. He is attacking for 2 plus a boost. Clea is going to stand in front of that. These are going to tick down. And he's attacking, whoop, card's jumping out of its sleeve. For 3, give the villain 1 additional boost icon. The Space Pirates love to do that. For 5, that does not Clea out. She gets shuffled into the deck. I gotta say, I'm really surprised I haven't seen any more of his spells come out. One of my practice games, I had like 5 spells in my play area, and they all surge, so you can really get a lot of encounter cards. But I've been pretty fortunate in that aspect so far. Or in that respect, rather. Okay, so that was the attack. I did all that. Pirate Lackey wants to attack me. I really don't like losing cards permanently. Getting kind of tired of defending. I always have to defend with Wanda, I guess. Oh, I do have a magic shield. I'll just use that. And I have 2 encounter cards. So the first one is a Hydra Soldier. So we have another friend on the playground to join the friendly competition. And Agent of Thanos. When revealed in hero form, deal 1 damage to your hero for each spell environment in your play area. So I will take 2 damage. What am I at? Okay, I'm at 10. This puts me down to 8. Things are getting serious now. We've actually taken damage. It's okay, Wanda. It's okay. This is just for fun. This is just old rivals. Don't go crazy and completely alter reality or take over a small town. We're just having a good time. All right, so it is back to us. And we've got some resources. We've got Chaos Magic. We're going to play a Hex Bolt first because I'm hoping to draw something expensive to play with a Chaos Magic. So let's go ahead and use the Quincarian Death Focus to play Hex Bolt. We got a 2, a 2, and a 0. So that's 2 damage and drawing 2 cards. Well, that's okay. I can discard one of these, and I can also tick one up or down. It seems like a waste to not tick one of these into a 3 to stun him. And 2 damage. We'll go ahead and use that. Yeah, we'll stick with these. We'll use that to finish off this stupid Pirate Lackey. Hydra Soldier does have guard, so I have to keep that in mind when I want to finally get around to attacking. That was the damage one. And it's going to let me draw a card. When I want to get around to start attacking Ebony Maw, I am going to have to deal with him. There's that Warp Reality. It was so close. Didn't get what I wanted, though. Okay. Well, then, in that case, I do want to go to Alter Ego at some point. Let's go ahead and use these 2 doubles to get out Victor. Now, Victor is a really cool newer ally. He reduces the amount of damage that he takes from each attack by 1, so I like to sit him out there as a wall against minions, and he can block them for a really long time. And I use my other double, bring out another defensive stance. I have this Chaos Magic and Warp Reality, which are super not useful. I'm going to thwart for 1, I think. No, let's go ahead and put 1 damage on the Hydra Soldier. Let's get that process started. And go to Alter Ego, where now I can use Agatha's ability. I don't know if you can hear, my son just woke up. His voice is coming through the baby monitor. I'm not sure if the microphone's going to pick that up or not. But he'll be joining us very soon. Well, out of these 3 cards, let's see. I'll go ahead and take the Energy Barrier. The other 2 on the bottom, and I'll just use these 2 to bring out Energy Barrier with 3 counters. That allows me to prevent even more damage. I think we are all done. One thread on the main scheme. He is confused. So the spells don't tick down. We are one activation away from being pacified, but that still hasn't happened. The Hydra Soldier will scheme for 1. So we're up to 3. And our encounter card is Caught Off Guard. Discard an upgrade or support you control. Well, we've got a few of those. We'll get rid of Defensive Stance. I'm tempted to get rid of Agatha because this might be the last time I go to Alter Ego form, but I would like to use her one more time. Yeah, let's get rid of Defensive Stance. It's not that big of a deal. All right, back to us. Morning, buddy. Oh, you see some things you'd like to get into, don't you? My little boy's 14 months old, and he's a curious little guy. Likes to hold things and eat things. All right, so let's see what we can do here. I think we can probably drive the game to a conclusion pretty soon. I'm about as set up as I'm going to get, so we can start doing some damage. So we're going to play Spiritual Meditation, draw 2, Defensive Stance, and a Hex Bolt. We're going to discard a card. Oh, here go all the noise-making toys. Should have turned those off. That's all right. We are, let's see, I got to discard a card here. We're just not going to play the mansion. It's just not going to happen. Now I could discard 2 and draw 2. I think we are going to try to get into aggressive mode here. So let's discard Defensive Stance and... Sorry, I'm just really distracted by all the toys that want to sing us songs. Let's see, I'm discarding 2 cards to draw 2. Is that where I'm at? That's where I'm at. Hey, buddy, how you doing? All right, I'm going to discard these 2. Maybe I shouldn't get too risky. I'll discard these 2. And draw more damage and more resources. So we're going to use this double to get a Defensive Stance out there. Like I said, I don't want to get too risky so far. All right, I've got a Hex Bolt. Let's go ahead and use these 2 to play it. We're going to flip 3. We got a 2, so let's draw a card. We got a 0, that's some damage. And we got a 3, that's a status. Well, he's already stunned. I don't really want to go back to Alter Ego. I'll just go ahead and... Oh, I didn't flip to hero form. I meant to. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and give myself a tough with the 3. The 0, we're going to deal 2 more damage to the Hydra Soldier here. Now, it's worth noting, I could use that to deal damage to Ebony Maw because Hex Bolt isn't an attack, so the guard wouldn't stop it from happening. But I'm okay to just get rid of this stupid Hydra Soldier. And then we'll use this 2 to draw a card. Ooh, double resource. Very nice. All right, now... we are going to use Wanda to finish this Hydra Soldier off, ping him for 1 more. When Hydra Soldiers are defeated, you get an encounter card because 2 heads, more things come back, Hydra, Hail Hydra, blah, blah. Okay. And now we're going to use, what do we have? Team building. None of our cards really help us pay for this stuff. We're going to finally attack Ebony Maw for realsies. We're going to use a Molecular Decay with these 3 resources. We're going to deal 5 damage to him right off the jump. So he's down to 10. And then we're going to flip 2 more cards and deal damage equal to the boost icons. So there's 2 more. And there's 1 more. So that's 3. I might as well use the crest to add 1 to this one. So that's 3 more. And then I can't remember if I used her ability or not. So I won't. I don't think I did, but it's okay. So he's down to 7. We are finally working towards our victory here. We didn't do any thwarting. That might have been silly. That's all right. All right, I'm going to ready everything up. I'm going to hold on to the Molecular Decay in my hand because I really want to deal some damage. I'm going to have 2 encounter cards. All right, let's see how it goes. So this is going to 4 threat. He's stunned, so those spells that started the game in play still have not fired. I don't think we can put it off much longer. And I have 2 encounter cards to resolve. The first one, oh, I should draw my cards. Hold on. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Now, first card, a Pirate Commander. So this is another one of these coming in with Quick Strike, 2 attack. We're going to block this with Victor. He takes 1 less damage, so only takes 1. So that blocked to the quick strike. And a pirate lackey. Here come the pirates. All right. Now, when that one, that removes the top card of your deck. Okay, we're going to block that one. I have tough. We'll just let it ping the tough. Yeah, that's fine. So that was all my cards. I'm be honest, I'm baffled. Where's all the surge? I've played, I think, 4 practice games, and I was just getting surged like crazy. And I feel like Ebony Mall's taking it pretty easy. He knows we're on camera. He doesn't want to make Scarlet Witch look bad. They are old friends. My boy agrees. And yeah, I feel like he's kind of taking it easy on me. But here we are. We're back to me. We're going to start with the spiritual meditation. Draw a magic shield and another spiritual meditation. And I do need to discard a card. Let's get rid of Brother Voodoo's, probably a little more expensive than we can handle this turn. Another spiritual meditation. Hex Bolt. And another magic shield. All right, I think we are going to have some fun this turn. Let's start with the Hex Bolt. I'm going to use these 2 to pay for it. So we're going to look at the top 3 cards, which there's only 3 left. So I can remove 4 threat and do a status effect. So that is what I'm going to do. Now these are actually discarded, so when I flipped these, this should have reshuffled immediately. So shuffle that, and we'll add a counter here. And what was I doing? Oh yeah, discarded these 3 cards. So we're going to use the 3 to stun. We have 2 threat removal and 2 threat removal. I'm okay with that. So we're going to remove 4 threat, keeping that down. Now, I kind of want to, let's see, he has 7 health. I've got these 2 criminals here. I probably shouldn't completely ignore, but I think I'm going to. I'm going to use team building and magic shield to get Clea out for more defensive options. Let's go ahead and do a molecular decay. Let's see if we can knock Ebony Maw down to his final form. So it does 5 damage down to 2. And we're going to flip 2 cards, and we should be able to do 2 more damage, right? 3, 4. Yep. So we've knocked him down to 0. I've got him the first form defeated. So we're going to set up Ebony Maw 3. He's pretty much the same. He schemes a little harder, but we do get another spell. We discard cards from the top. Okay, well, we don't shuffle the discard back into play. So we're going to find another spell. Rubble Storm. Here we go. Here we go. So Rubble Storm comes into play with 3 invocation counters on it. And that one deals 2 damage to me and all of my allies when it fires. So hopefully we have the game over before that happens, or we keep him stunned or whatever. Speaking of that, was he stunned? Wasn't he stunned? I think he was stunned, right? Yeah, I just moved it to flip him over. And he comes into play with 23 hit points. Now, one thing I'd like to say real quick, if you're enjoying this video, if you wouldn't mind just pushing the little like button, and if you want to see more videos like this, if you want to subscribe to the channel, that would be great. All right, so I'm out of cards. I still have Clea. I still have Scarlet Witch to activate. Could have used the crest, didn't need to there. So we've got these 2 pirates. Victor can keep blocking 1. I think Wanda, yeah, we're just going to ignore those pirates. They don't have guards, so we don't really care. There's no threat to remove. We're just going to attack for 2 more damage. Down to 21. Clea does take a damage from that. And we're going to ready everything up. All right, now we're going to cycle into our molecular decays. I think we're going to get this over quickly. So I drew 1. I have to shuffle my deck again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shield spell, magic shield, defensive stance, protection, hex bolt, and well, okay. Nothing too exciting for next turn. We'll see how it goes. So now the main scheme's getting 2 threat, thanks to the acceleration token. He's stunned, so the spells don't happen. Pirate Lackey and Pirate Commander are attacking. Victor's going to block this one, so he takes 1 damage. And for the other one, we'll just go ahead and play the shield. Well, I don't want to accidentally lose my molecular. I was going to use shield spell to prevent the damage, but you have to discard cards from the top of your deck. I don't want to lose my molecular decays, so instead we'll just block it with the defensive stance. Yes, that's what we'll do. And I should have drawn one encounter card for running out of my deck, and then I have a second one. First one is Agent of Thanos, deals 1 damage to me for each spell environment in my play area. Well, now there's 3. I can prevent one of it with the energy barrier, and I'll ping 1 damage back to Ebony Maw. And I do take 1 other damage, so I'm down to 7. And my other card is, oh, here we go, Fireball. 4 counters on it. That one's going to deal 4 damage to me if it ever goes off. And the spells do surge. So I get Reactor Overload as a side scheme. Comes into play with 3 threat, and then I can either take 2 damage or put 2 more threat on it. I'm just going to go ahead and put the threat on it. So we're not going to worry about that too much. All right, and that is it. Back to me. Let's start off with yet another Hex Bolt. I forgot to say at the beginning, but I call this deck Hexy Protexy. And you can probably see why. A lot of protection, a lot of Hex Bolts. So we're looking at 3 here. So we have a 2, a 2, and a 1. So that would be draw 2 cards and remove 2 threat. Well, we're definitely going to use the crest to bump one of these up to a 3 to get a stun. And now we can draw a card and remove threat. Let's discard the threat one and see if we can get some damage instead. It's another 1. So we're removing 2 threat, and we can't remove it from this because this is a crisis. And we're drawing a card. Drew a magic shield. So we've got a lot of defense in our hand and no damage. So the good news is we'll be drawing into our damage at some point, I'm sure. So we're going to use a green double to get a defensive stance out there. Running out of places to put all my cool stuff. We are going to use a green double to play a magic shield, and a shield spell to play a magic shield. So I have 9 damage prevention on the table, 2 blockers, an energy barrier. I don't know, buddy. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. Good luck doing any more damage to Scarlet Witch by the end of the game. I'm also going to use her to ping for 1, down to 19. And Clea, you know what? We'll go ahead and do 1 damage with her. So when she's defeated, she can shuffle back into the deck. Slow and steady. And then comes the burst, hopefully. All right. That is the end of this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come on, molecular decays. Let's do some damage. Here we go. Okay. All right, we're getting close now. So this is getting 2 threat. We're gonna bump that up to 4. Ebony Maw is stunned, so the spells don't tick down. Pirate Lackey is blocked by Victor. He's doing just a banging job. Good job, Victor. Pirate Commander. How do we want to prevent this damage? I guess we'll use a magic shield to block that one. And we only have 1 card this turn. It is Slipping Sanity. This is Wanda's obligation. I can choose to flip to Alter Ego and exhaust to remove it, or I can do another thing that I don't want to do. So we're just going to do that. We're going to flip to Alter Ego and exhaust. Removes this from the game. No big deal. Happy to be here, actually. Wanda needed a little break. She's going to visit her friend Agatha. We're going to look at 3 cards. Endurance, Warp Reality, and Defensive Stance. My goodness, we don't want any of these. We'll take the Endurance, I guess. Put it on the bottom. I can discard 2 to draw 2. We're going to discard the... Well, you know what? I'm tempted to discard the Endurance in the Mansion because I'm not going to play him, but I also don't want to draw molecular decays that I can't then necessarily afford to play. Let's see. We got 1 Hex Bolt for free on the table. This could potentially pay for another one, and these 3 could pay for the decay. Yep, let's just do that. Let's just do that. So, we're going to flip to hero form. Always start with a Hex Bolt in case you draw cards. Hex Bolt, look at 3. 2 is card draw, threat removal, and status. Well, we'll definitely take that. Just keep on stunning them. Poor guy. Never really had a chance. We don't want to... Do we want to remove threat? Do we care? I don't think we care. No, we use this one to draw a card. Spiritual Meditation. And we're just going to take this one down to a 0 with the crest to deal 2 damage. So he's down to 16. So that was that Hex Bolt. We'll use Spiritual Meditation, draw 2, Energy Barrier, and Brother Voodoo. We're going to discard a card. We'll discard Brother Voodoo. I do like that card, but I keep discarding it every time I draw him. Just never the right time. We're going to go ahead and play another Hex Bolt. 1, 2, 3. So we got a 3, a 2, and a 1. And I could discard... Let's discard the 1 with Chaos Control to try to get a 0. We did get a 0, so that's going to be 2 damage, a card draw, and a status. So he's down to 14. The card draw is Nick Fury. And the status will be a tough, because we don't care if he schemes or not at this point. Now, let's see. If I play Nick, I'll draw 3 cards. I can still play Molecular Decay. So let's discard these 4 cards to get Nick out there. I suppose I could do damage with him, but I want to draw cards. So he's going to let me draw 3 cards. Spiritual Meditation, another Hex Bolt, and Magic Shield. We're going to have Nick attack for 2, down to 12. We are going to play the Spiritual Meditation, draw Energy Barrier and Energy. We're going to discard the Energy Barrier. Let me straighten my area here. We're going to... Okay, we're going to use this to play a Molecular Decay. Does 5 damage. So he's down to 7. And then we're going to flip. He takes 1... 2 more, so 3 total, so he's down to 4. Oh, so close. We almost had him. And I'm going to hold on to this Hex Bolt for next turn just to make sure I have it to play. Stand everything up. We're going to draw another milk. Okay, this game's over. I just have to somehow survive this encounter phase, and then we're going to win. So this is going to get to 6, and it's going to flip. That's all right. So we're going to shuffle a discard pile into the deck, flip till we get a spell. Don't think it's going to matter. All right, it's good enough. Cards keep jumping out of their sleeves. Nope, 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 not a spell, not a spell, not a spell. Look at all these good cards you should have played, Ebony Maw. What were you thinking? Manipulation. All right, we're just going to put this one here. It's got 2 counters. That's the one that confuses you. That is not the right kind of counter. There we go. And so that was the scheme. Flips over, starts with 1. He wants to attack, but he's stunned, so nothing happens there. Now we have the Commander and the Lackey. We're going to block 1 with Nick and 1 with Victor. That will take Victor out, and Nick... Actually, I'll take both of them out. Those guys are blocked. Just looking around, making sure I'm not forgetting anything. Nope, got an encounter card. Another Reactor Overload. We'll just put this over here. It starts with 3. We'll put 2 more, so it has 5. And that is going to be the game. We are going to use Genius and Queen Carrier. No reason to drag this out. Molecular Decay deals 5 damage. He's to -1. And then it would do 1, 2, 3. I could have ticked it up to 4 damage. And that is a win over Ebony Maw in Expert. I gotta say, I felt a little easier than some of my practice playthroughs. But again, I like Ebony Maw as a villain because it's a pretty varied experience. Every time you play him, sometimes the spells come out early, and since they surge, they can just really pile up a lot of cards on you and make it tough. Or sometimes they don't come out at all. Now, thankfully, the Scarlet Witch was able to get her defenses set up early, and she's just so powerful to draw a lot of cards to get what you need quickly. It's easy to get a lot of upgrades and supports in play that help you do what you're trying to do. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. I think it's safe to say Wanda won this little bout of friendly rivalry. Maybe next time Ebony comes to Earth, you know, leading some incredibly terrible villain to try to destroy the world. Once they've handled that situation, maybe they can catch up and have a cup of tea or something. So I want to thank you for joining me. Again, if you wouldn't mind liking the video and subscribing to the channel if you enjoyed this and want to see more. And I hope to see you sometime soon. Take care.